Welcome to the Andy Ruther Show. Here is your host, Andy Ruther.
Welcome to the Andy Ruther Show. That is me, Andy Ruther, coming to you on a little Thursday evening sesh we got going on here. A little late night Thursday evening sesh down in the basement. It's cold. It's cold. The air it gets so cold down here. It's crazy. I think we got the air blasting. It's been hot. Because spring just doesn't happen now. It's pretty frustrating, to be honest. I talk about the weather a lot because I'm old, but it's frustrating. All these 80-degree days. It's April. Can I get a little spring? But yeah, we pump the AC because we got the kids. It gets so damn warm up there on the second floor, so we got to pump the AC, and it just makes the basement cold. So I got my hoodie. You know, the hoodie attire. Hoodie gang, like I say with Isla. Hoodie gang. Yeah, good to be here tonight, guys. We got some things to get through. Important things like 3-year-old soccer. Yeah. Me getting back in the grind and stand-up comedy. What else we can talk about? The Jessica trend, the parenting hack, the Jessica trend, which is a wild, funny one. Can't wait to talk about that. Maybe some other things, but busy time for the fam over here. We got a lot going on, and Isla started soccer, which was interesting. 3-year-old soccer. How do I describe it? Here's a few adjectives. Here's a few words for you. Awful, hell, WTF. Why am I here? Those are more than a few words. I spent $180 on this. What are we doing? I led her first soccer game, and oh God, guys, I don't even know where to start. She didn't want to go out with her team. She was clinging to me. You know, she doesn't know these kids. She threw herself on the field, like kicking and screaming. I was like, this is embarrassing. What are we doing here? It's not even about soccer for me. It's like, I want you to learn some teamwork. I know they're young, but I think it starts young, and I think it's important. Some teamwork, camaraderie, all that stuff. It's a co-ed little soccer league. One of the coaches actually went to high school with Brittany. Small world. We didn't know that. But yeah, what are you doing? I don't think I'm wrong. I don't think we're wrong for signing them up. It's just like, it's just a shit show. There's no other way to put it. They're 3 and 4-year-olds. They don't even have goalies. They practice for 30 minutes. Let's air quote that. Not really practice. And then they do a 30-minute game, right? There's no goalies. There's no scorekeeping, which makes sense. Isla was supposed to kick the ball from out of bounds, and she cried and ran to the sideline. I'm like, what is happening here? She didn't want to go back in the game. She became obsessed with the cones off the field, kicking the ball at the cones. I said to Brittany, we got 5 more weeks of this. I was like, you're taking her next week. She doesn't want to go. She's already like, I don't want to go back. I'm like, you're going. It's good for you. Get your butt up. Practice is at 9 a.m. on Saturday. Get up. It's just like, I don't know. You say, is this worth it? And then you're just like, you got to start them though, right? You got to start them somewhere. And there's like some of the little boys knew how to play. A lot of the kids are crying. That's just what drives me crazy. That's how she's a drop off a lot, where she like clings to my leg when I drop her off at daycare. Drives me crazy. Because she loves it. She loves her classmates. She loves her teachers. And they always tell me, like, 5 minutes after you leave, she's fine. So why the theater? Why the drama at drop off? Why are we doing this at soccer? She loves soccer. That's why I signed her up. She loves kicking the ball around, right? And she can actually dribble pretty decently for a kid her age who has never played formally, right? So we signed her up. Just total debacle. I get that they're 3. I get that, but also it's like, how do you find the balance of like, you're acting like a normal 3-year-old, but also kinda you gotta man up a little. You gotta man up a little. Whoever said terrible 2s was way off because 3 is a million times worse. I was talking to my neighbor about that. He agreed. I was talking to some coworkers at Gold Star about that today. Same thing. They're like, yeah, 3 is a million times worse than 2. Like where she like becomes possessed, right? And just screaming and kicking and just like flailing on the ground. And you're like, what is the end game of this? What's the end game here? Why are you doing this on the soccer field? Like, you're still going to play. You want that ice cream after the game? You should have seen the spread this parent brought, speaking of ice cream. So parents are in charge of snacks. Dude, this mom literally like either Costco or Sam's Club. I don't know where she went. I couldn't stop making jokes. I'm like, look at this spread. She had a giant box of Pirate's Booty, quality snack, by the way, quality popcorn. She had a giant box of like some of those like applesauce that you squeeze off. I forget what they're called. She had a giant box of goldfish. Like all this to choose from after an hour soccer, little soccer sesh. I made the same joke probably two or three times and no parents laughed. I was like, it's changed a lot now. And not just those crappy orange slices like we used to have, huh? Nobody laughed. I was like, okay, maybe they didn't hear me. I'm like, it's changed. Back in the day, you had those orange slices, huh? Nobody laughed. I'm like, cool, okay. Good time for me to get back into stand-up comedy. I can't even land a joke at a 3-year-old soccer match. So yeah, that's what our Saturday was. And then we went and had lunch. And I kept telling Isla, I said, I'm gonna put Molly in. Molly was engaged. Molly kept wanting to run on the field. She was like, I'm ready for this. It's just, here's my thing. I don't want to keep doing this if it's going to be this big of a debacle. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to keep doing this. And again, I know she's 3. But like, give me something, man. Give me something. You didn't give me anything this first game, this first practice. You got to give me something. Bro, that's the business to be in. I'll tell you what. I've said it a million times in this show as far as the business of kids. And I don't mean like the Epstein business of kids. I mean like the merchandise, the soccer leagues, the gimmick toys, the new products, like that business of kids. $180, man. $180 for 6 games. Like, what are we paying for? She gets a little jersey? Cool, I guess. Like, $180? Coaches are free. I'm just saying, like, that seems like they got this thing on lock. This company in Cincinnati. They do kids leagues throughout I-9 sports. They got it on lock. I'm telling you, that it's a business. These daycares, like, these are good because parents want to pay money. They want to just overspend. It's not like when I grew up where stuff was free or parents didn't spend money on that stuff. Parents just want to spend money. I don't do it. I mean, you guys have seen, I posted the video on TikTok, on Instagram, Twitter, the amount of cups we have. This is my point. Parents want to spend. We have 65,000 cups for 2 little girls. This is my point. The business of kids is good. It's a multi-billion-dollar business. It's a good business to be in. It truly is. Unless you're this daycare that had to fire a worker for kissing a student, which happened by us. Doesn't make me feel good. Doesn't make me feel good. Doesn't make me feel great seeing this story. Let me pull this one up here, Cincinnati. Here's a good local one. Former Pierce Township daycare worker accused of kissing child deleting photos. A Pierce Township man is facing charges after detectives say he admitted to having a sexual infatuation with a 5-year-old child at the daycare where he worked. According to court records, Christopher Helmer, 18, was fired from Jelly Bean Junction Learning Center. This is a franchise that's around here. We actually looked at one of the other ones, not this one. Last month after allegations that he kissed a child on the lips. Bro, what is happening here? You can just tell by looking at this. Here's the thing. It's one of those people that you look at him and you go, yeah, he's a kitty toucher. You just look at him. You go, yeah, he's a kitty toucher. Yeah, this guy's a pedo. And this guy was hired. Also, I'm just going to say, if you're an 18-year-old male, I've got red flags going off. Like, why do you want to work at a kid's daycare, right? That's like red flag alert. That's code red. I worked at kids camp, right? One summer in Los Angeles. Completely different. A beach kids camp. Half the employees were males. We're going to the ocean with the kids. Like, you needed physical fitness. It was literally called Fitness by the Sea. It was wild. I think I've talked about it. It was about like these kids being active. It wasn't really fitness, but you did a lot of games and stuff. That's how I became a nanny, which is hilarious to think about. When I was a male nanny for a year. But my point is, like, you're working in a daycare with young kids. This guy. And apparently somebody called the cops. This is the 911 report. I just need to self-report an incident between a child and a teacher, the caller told the dispatcher. We had a male teacher basically kiss a child, another little girl, 5-year-old, on the lips. It happened 2 times. According to the court complaint, Helmer admitted to kissing the child on the lips and having a sexual infatuation with the young girl. This is awful and disgusting. He admitted to having photos of the child that were taken at the daycare center downloaded to his phone. But police say after he was fired, he suspected there would be an investigation, so he deleted the pictures. He's also now charged with tampering with evidence. Oh my God. Bro, this is like your worst nightmare as a parent, especially as a girl dad. I think. Like, I see that and I'm like, oh my God, it's awful. This guy's kissing a 5-year-old girl on the lips. He's putting photos of a 5-year-old little girl on his phone. Anyway, here's your daycare bill. Enjoy the $30,000 yearly fee for a guy to touch your kid. That makes you feel great. Hey guys, not only do you get to pay $400 a week for your kid to go to daycare, not only are they going to get sick all the time and you have to pay for them to be at home, not only are they going to bring that illness, that sickness, the bacteria, the germs, the virus into your house, get you sick, get their siblings sick. Not only that, hey, we're going to have a pedo work there and kiss your child on the lips and keep photos of your child for just $400 a week. That's all we're asking. Dude, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. I just did my taxes, or my accountant did my taxes, right? And we're talking about it. He's like, dude, we're going over the numbers. Over 28 grand we spent on daycare last year. I know I talk about it all the time, but like, it's insane to me. It's still insane. Over 28 grand. And the government's like, we'll give you the standard child deduction. You get $2,200 off each kid. We'll give you $4,400 back on that $28,000 that you spent on daycare. We'll give you $4,400 back. Now, I was never good at math, but that doesn't add up to me. It's never good. I always struggled at math. We pay $28,000 to put our kid through daycare. Basically, so because we have to, you can't work and have the kid at home. And in return, you're like, oh, we're going to take out $4,400. Although the kid could be with some creepers like we see in this story on top of it. Oh, good to be back. Good to be back talking about this stuff. So uplifting, isn't it? Let's pivot to something that did make me feel good. That really made me feel good. I stopped at a comedy show last week. There was a local comedy show. Since I'm performing, I'm getting back in the game, I guess. June 13th here in Cincinnati, Ohio. I will be one of the feature acts for Joe Prano at the Comet. Bombs Away comedy at the Comet here in Cincinnati. June 13th. There's 2 shows. Anyway, get those tickets. You can Google it. I don't have a link. So I got to get back, guys. I'm doing 12 minutes a time. It's not the most, but still, like, you can't just get up on stage in front of a crowd and just wing 12 minutes. I mean, maybe. But, the truth is, I haven't done stand-up in 6 years. Now, I did it in New Orleans for 2 shows for the Dirty Sports 1000th episode. Those are Homer crowds. We did the live podcast. We had 2 comedy shows, but those are Homer crowds because a lot of the crowd is podcast listeners, right, of your show. So like those are home team crowds. Now this one would be as well because it's Cincinnati and it'll be people I know. But anyway, point is, take that one out. I haven't really performed stand-up in 6 years. So I got to start flexing the muscles. I've been writing. I got to start flexing the muscles. So I went to a show, local bar by me. I saw a sign, a digital sign outside the restaurant, like, we're doing comedy. And I told Brittany, I was like, after we put the girls in bed, I want to pop down and check out this comedy show. And it all came back, guys. All that comedy mojo and those vibes and that energy, all of that came flooding back to me. And it felt good, to be honest. So they do the show. They're outside at some local bar here in the suburbs where I live. And it was basically hostage comedy. That's what we call it in Los Angeles. Right? There's comedy shows all over in a city like LA, a city like New York, big cities, right? But a lot of times people don't know it's a comedy show, right? Like those are the best, where like you're at a bar, you're at a restaurant, you're just eating your meal, you're just drinking your drink. You got your 24-ounce Miller Lite in front of you. You got your Jack and Coke. You got your cheeseburger, and suddenly a dude gets on stage or pulls out a microphone and boom, you're stuck in the middle of a comedy show. Enjoy. That's basically what this was. This was hostage comedy, where just like people aren't laughing. It's a struggle. It's an uphill battle, the whole show. Comics are just eating shit. And I was loving it. And by the way, I'm not knocking the comics because I've been there. I know it. The point is, it's just so difficult, right? You're trying to make people laugh who literally did not know they were walking into a comedy show. That's a big ask. That's a tough ask. If you're funny, if you're clever, if you're witty, you can make it work. Not always easy, though. And that's what was happening this night. And I stuck around and I was watching it. And it just like, I could just like feel it in me. I was like, I miss this. I miss this. And truthfully, that's how I felt. It was like I took steroids or something, or I've never done cocaine, but like, sniffed a few lines of coke. Like I had that energy. I got home and I was like, oh, I'm all amped up from watching comics eat shit. And again, I'm not knocking those comics. I'm saying like, I miss eating shit myself on stage with jokes, with bits. It felt good. And then I felt myself, I was like putting notes in my phone of like ideas I had and maybe tags for other bits that I've started to kind of formulate in my head. And then I'm thinking like, how would I have done tonight? Right. Of course, I talked to the comics afterwards. They were all nice. And I guess the guy was like, he's doing this again next month. Do you want a spot? And I was trying to figure out from them like some open mics, the Cincinnati open mic scene. I was like, I got to get on stage. I'm performing at the Comet June 13th. So it's in a couple months. I need to work on some bits. But like I felt it. It's tough to describe because I did it for so long, or I was in that world. I never fully got vested in stand-up. I've been open about that, I think. I never fully got it vested because I found other ways to make money creatively in Los Angeles. And the truth was I kind of followed the money, so to speak, of where some things could pay me. But of course, stand-up is where you start. So I felt that. I felt that in my bones that night. I was like, oh, I miss this. I miss eating shit on stage. I miss trying jokes that aren't going to work or doing some crowd work, messing with the people who don't even know they're in a comedy show. I miss it. And to be honest, I felt good. Now, Brittany said to me, she goes, you were like this after you got back from New Orleans after the Dirty Sports 1000th episode. She's like, you should get up more. And maybe I will. Maybe even after this show in June, maybe it's not even about stand-up. It's just about like, this is an outlet for me. This is therapy, which stand-up kind of is for most of us. For most of us who've been in this stand-up comedy world, it is a form of therapy. I'm trying to make you laugh, or I'm trying to laugh about things that in my life are difficult or hard or whatever, right? That's what stand-up is. It's just funny because like all the bits I'm writing now are about my life, my current life, right? About raising 2 little girls and being in a house with 3 women and, potty training. It's just like, these are completely different bits than I would ever have written before. And we'll see if it works. We'll see if it does. I don't know. It's exciting though. I also think I'm old enough now that if I just eat it here in a few months when I have those 2 shows, it's not going to bother me. I want to do well. We all want to do well in anything we do in life. You should at least. But like, I don't think it'll bother me. I'm excited, truthfully. I'm excited to, write some of these bits, start performing some of these bits, hitting open mics. Now, look, it's not easy with 2 kids and putting them to bed, and you got to hop in the car. Like, I've never had to experience that in LA. I had nobody to account for but myself when I was doing mics or working on bits or doing spots, whatever it was. It's a little different, with basically a full-time job and kids and all this stuff. But I'm excited about it, truthfully. I'm excited to go there. But at the same time, I'm gonna be fully transparent with you guys. I'm glad I'm at where I'm at, and I'm not. I don't know. I'm not fully where I was in that world in Los Angeles. It's a tough world. It's a difficult world, truthfully. It really is. It's a grind. It's honestly a grind. That's the truth. I remember I did a couple spots at these casinos in New Mexico. I don't know. When was this, like 11 years ago or something? I was featuring for a comedian who I knew, and this is right before I got hired to work for Lance Bass. And we drove from Los Angeles to New Mexico. We drove all day, like all night. Did a couple shows, slept at that casino, the hotel, drove like another 4 or 5 hours the next day to, I believe, Albuquerque to do another casino. After that show, drove right back to Los Angeles. I think I made like 600 bucks. It was like nothing. It was like 400 or 600 bucks for I forget how many shows. Maybe 2 shows. Maybe it was like 400 bucks. I don't remember. Regardless, I just remember calling my mom and being like, "I don't wanna be doing this, like, at a certain age." Like, that was my personal feeling, truthfully. Everyone's different. Everyone's different. I just remember, though, the guy I was working with did have a kid, and he wasn't breaking the bank either on those shows, and I just remember thinking, "This isn't what I want when I'm in my 40s." Again, that's just me, and, like, thankfully, again, I just a month or 2 later, I get hired to work on a radio show as a writer, and I had already made some money in the social media world. The point was I found other outlets to make money creatively. I think I was doing dirty sports at that point. Yeah, it hadn't been monetized at all, but I just remember being like call my mom and being like, "Yeah, you're making money on the road, you're making good money, that's one thing, or you're making decent money. I'm driving all over the map for like 400 bucks." But, like, I saw that then, is my point, right? I don't even know why I'm bringing this up. I just look, stand-up's great, but there's another side to it, is my point. There's a whole other side to it. Like, the thought of that kind of depresses me now, truthfully. It does. I don't know. I think a lot of comedians can get bitter, truthfully, um, when they're still doing those things, honestly. Again, I'm glad and I'm fortunate that I found other outlets and then obviously end up finding a family here and all those things. I don't know, man. Like, I'll stick to these things, but like I've even had those conversations with Brittany of like, yeah, I wouldn't want to leave you guys unless I was making great money. But even then, as far as like stand up, even then, it's like you don't want to miss the kids growing up. I don't know. Anyway, I don't even know why I went down this because I was talking about how I was enjoying that night. I'm talking about some New Mexico casino shows that were just, oh, they were bad. I remember, I'll never forget this though. The comic that I went with, he didn't even want to stop on the drive from Los Angeles to New Mexico in different restaurants. His wife had packed him sandwiches for me and him, so we didn't have to spend money. And I'll never forget how depressing I thought that was. I just remember how depressing I thought that was. Of like, dude, part of the fun of being on the road is going in the mom and pop diner, going in these small towns. That's one of the perks of stand-up comedy. You get to see the country. You get to talk to people. It's great. It's a great perk. But it was like, "No, man, we just gotta get to the gig. We're gonna drive all night." My wife packed us sandwiches. I just remember thinking how the I never forget telling my mom, I was like, "Oh, mom, it was so depressing." Like, the thought of that, of, like, saving the money to that degree. It's a tough dude, it's a tough road. It is. It's a tough field to be in, truthfully, if you don't make it, so to speak. Or just the grind, the grind, the grind. You guys got me reflecting. You got me reflecting on everything. I'm not trying to bring it down because again, I started off on a positive note here of, I was excited seeing stand-up comedy. It gave me energy. I was writing some stuff that night. I was putting notes in my phone. So I'm excited. I'm excited to be at the Comet here on June 13th. And I'm excited to hit the mics. I'm excited to do stand-up comedy mics, open mics where it's not really a crowd. It's just stand-ups and nobody laughs at each other. But even just that, right? I got some bits I want to test. But it's a grind for sure. It's definitely a grind. And I'm here for the challenge though, truthfully. I'm here for it. I'm in a different space though. Again, I'm in a different space with the little girls and then I started thinking about like just other bits. I'm just kind of bouncing off the top of my head right now. Just like, I have a lot of potential, I think, for certain ideas of just like it hit me the other day. It hit me the other day. I never lived with somebody. I never lived with a girlfriend until I was damn near 41. Like, that's insane. I lived by myself my whole life, basically, until I was 41. I didn't have my first child until I was 41. Like, I got to do whatever I wanted for 40 years. I think that is extremely rare. I'm not saying I'm a unicorn. It's extremely rare, though, guys. It's extremely rare. I don't think you're going to talk to many men who lived by themselves, who had never lived with a girlfriend until they were 41, who also never had their first kid until they were 41. Now, having their first kid at 41 isn't crazy. I don't think that's crazy, but they had never lived with anybody. So sometimes I have to stop and think about that. Like, you're still adjusting to this life, Andy. I'm kind of doing my own therapy here right now, but that's what's going on, right? I'm going to be 45 in November. I'm only 3.5 years into this experiment, if we want to call it that. And I have my moments where I'm a complete asshole, I'm sure. And I have my moments where I'm good. But I'm like, okay, there's some stuff here, right? There's got to be some stand up in this. There's got to be some nuggets in this. I'm just learning. Right? I make 22-year-old hairs. The guy's living with his first girlfriend at 25. I'm doing that in my mid 40s. I did see dude, I saw this parenting hack. This is wild. This is so funny. I got to share this Jessica parenting hack. It's like a social media craze. I don't even know how it started. I sent it to Brittany. It's everywhere. We're laughing about it. So Isla's been a disaster, like I said. Just like complete debacle at times. Just a train wreck of a kid at 3. Meltdown city. More times than not. Everything is such a big deal. Like getting ready for bed, leaving for daycare, transitions, like not getting what she wants. Like everything is the biggest deal. And then the tantrums and all that. So I don't know where this started. But this trend mostly I think is on maybe TikTok and Instagram, where when the kid's having a meltdown, the parent just starts yelling Jessica and acting like they're searching for this imaginary Jessica. I don't know why they chose the name Jessica. I don't know why. But every single time the kid stops. It's wild. We've tested it with Isla and it works. But the problem is Brittany laughs every time because it's so ridiculous. Right? She's having a meltdown like last week. She's having a meltdown, doesn't want to get in the bath. She's fighting me. She's screaming. She's crying. And I just start going, Jessica? Jessica? I'm like literally like, I'm like an actor. I'm like walking around like, Jessica? I'm looking out from the top of our stairs down below, like, Jessica? And you just start saying Jessica. And every time she would stop crying. Let me pull up some of these videos. They're pretty funny. Watch this. This is exactly what I'm talking about.
Jessica? Jessica? Jessica?
Watch. So every single time they do this, where the kid's crying or having a meltdown, and the parent yells Jessica, the kid stops. And what I love about this video is it shows like every people with all these different backgrounds. Like it doesn't matter whether you're black, white, Asian. It doesn't matter. For some reason, just yelling out Jessica works.
Jessica? Jessica? Are you there? Jessica?
Jessica? Jessica?
I love it with the Asian accent, Jessica. Even works on this kid.
Ba't natakot? Jessica, where are you, Jessica?
Bye.
Jessica, come here. Come here, Jessica. He's crying. You want Jessica to come?
Yeah. No way.
So what is happening when your child's having a tantrum? They're
Okay, this is
Jessica?
let's go to the this is the therapist. Dr. Willow Jenkins, a child psychiatrist, has chimed in. Okay, what's she have to say?
No way.
so what is happening when your child's having a tantrum? They're in an emotional loop, right? They're just going and going and going. And saying something kind of unexpected out of context, like Jessica, is acting as a pattern interrupt. And it's causing a pause and a break in the cycle, which then gives you the opportunity to do all the other things that aren't being shown in the videos, like validate your child's emotions, transition them to another activity, maybe do some emotional regulation skills like breathing or coloring or whatever it might be. But here's the actual secret sauce of why these videos are working is the parents are incredibly emotionally regulated themselves. They are not upset. They're usually very calmly saying Jessica, maybe with a touch of humor, and that's really the secret sauce.
Oh, this one's kind of exhausting, isn't she? She's one of those therapists where like the kid never does wrong. Right. She's one of those therapists. There's one of those child psychologists. Like the kid never does wrong. You're like, yeah, the kid's kind of being an asshole. It's fine. Everybody can be an asshole. Kids, adults, whatever. But it does make sense. It's breaking, like she said, that loop of the kid freaking out. And they're just like, what? Who's Jessica? Where's Jessica? Brittany could not stop laughing she's like, okay, dude. You in the eye. I was like, Jessica? Jessica, are you there? I love you seen Jessica? Jessica's here. I don't know why they chose the name Jessica. It's funny to me though. It's crazy how that works. Lately, I've just been like, dude, go read a book. She'll be going psycho. If we're on the main floor, I'll just say, go to the playroom, read a book, which usually works. Just go read a book, man. Like, chill. Which this kind of leads in to something else I saw. I mean, stressed Gen Z, this is from the New York Post. I saw this headline. Stressed Gen Z is carrying around anxiety bags with tools to calm their nerves. So Gen Z, just like my daughter, freaks out. Now my daughter's 3. Let's look into some of these people. Hannah Fowles was spiraling. It had been a grueling day at work, and by the time the 22-year-old from Provo, Utah got home, panic was bubbling in her chest as her thoughts raced and her cheeks flushed red. I was starting to get super overheated. I couldn't calm myself, she's told the Post. Nothing that I normally do, like breathing exercises or lying down in a dark room, was working. Then she saw the bag. Just weeks earlier, Fowles and her therapist had put together a small grab-and-go kit filled with items to help her calm mind when anxiety strikes, an idea she'd first come across while scrolling on TikTok. Well, that's why you have anxiety, because you're on TikTok all day. Social media gives you anxiety. It's not rocket science here. She now reached for her anxiety grab-and-go pack, whatever it is, swallowing her anxiety medication and pressing. Of course she has medication. Of course. Of course she does. And pressing a cold pack to the back of her neck, she flicked on a portable fan, letting the cool air wash over her face, while on the other hand, she gripped a spiky fidget by feeling its prongs dig into her palm as the panic began to ebb. Within 10 minutes, I was like, dude, like this stuff. So this article about anxiety packs or anxiety bags. It's all women. I mean, no surprise here. Sorry, ladies. It's all women sharing their story about their anxiety. Gen Z women. I hate to be that guy. Actually, I don't hate to be that guy. I'm going to be that guy. Suck it up, dude. I literally say this to Isla at times. Like, this is life. Go, like, how many times am I going to preach on this show? Exercise. Go for a walk. Like, it's really not that hard. The amount that it is amazing to me that nobody's like, go for a 10-minute walk, man. Fresh air is so good for you. You don't have to do a grueling cardio workout, a grueling, CrossFit. You don't got to go for a swim. Like, dude, literally go for a walk. It's amazing to me how much walks can change. Like, I know it personally. If I'm dealing with stuff, if the kids are stressing me or we're dealing with baby stuff, it's like, just walk outside. My therapist would always say, grab the keys. Just grab the keys. Literally have it over there on my board to remind me sometimes. It doesn't mean I literally have to hop in my car. Sometimes it does. Just grab the keys. Like, get out of the house, man. Just get out of the house. Like, these anxiety, like, it just blows my mind. Again, I've been talking a lot about David Goggins. I'm big into Goggins again. I think about him all like when I'm in my like I'm trying to, not want to do something or whatever. I'm not having anxiety attacks, but like I just think of him saying, stop being a bitch. Stay hard. Stop being a bitch. Y'all need David Goggins in your life. You do. You do. You need someone to say that to you. You need someone to say, stop being a bitch. Life is hard. Life was not meant to be easy. There's a lot of difficult things about life. A lot of difficult things about life. And look, I understand there's things that people go through. But in a lot of regards, we've have it. I do this all the time. I do it all the time. You've had it easier, Gen Zers. Like, you're not working in a factory. Come on. It's the point is, it's like, guys, what is, you have the anxiety because you're on TikTok. I'm already saying, like, put the damn phone. It's not that, put the phone down. Go for a walk. I think COVID just wrecked so many people. It really did. The lockdowns, people weren't going. It just everything was so wrong about it. It truly was. I think back to how I handled it, and I got really big into running again. And that was so good for me. It was so good for me. I didn't need an anxiety pack or anxiety bag. I didn't need to be on medication. We're on lockdown. I'm stressing. I'm going for a run. And even when California shut down the beaches, which is insane looking back at it. It's insane. It's absolutely insane to me. They shut down the beaches. They shut down things. Literally, the thing you should do is go for exercise. Get out in the sun. Get some vitamin D, right? It's insane looking back on it. It's insane. I had my runs. And even when they shut down the beaches and that, I used to love going for runs at night in Los Angeles. It was like I was running a marathon. When the streets are free and there's no cars allowed, that's what it was like. I used to literally run on big streets that would be packed full of cars through Venice, through Marina del Rey, through Santa Monica, just like main streets, literally main street from Venice to Santa Monica. it was just so exhilarating, truthfully. It was like, dude, I'm just running, man. Sure, I've been cooped up all day watching Netflix, the world shut down, but now I'm just going to run 5 or 6 miles. I'm going to sweat it out. I'm going to feel good. Or go on my bicycle, go on a bike ride. You see this stuff and you're just like, dude. And again, I look at this and I'm like, it's all girls. It's all women. This is one of my goals in life as a father is to prevent my daughters going through this stuff. And you read these stories and you're just like how hard is it? And of course, again, some of these stories do go back to the lockdowns, do go back to COVID. Dude, I got a kid we're trying to get rid of the pacifier, and it's ridiculous to me, and I got to do a better job as a parent, as a dad. But like, you haven't left that stage, truthfully, if you're still doing this. You haven't. We talked about adult pacifiers on an episode a few months ago, but it's the same thing, man. Your anxiety bag is my 3-year-old needing a pacifier when she gets panicked, when she gets stressed, whatever the 3-year-old stress is. When she gets her version of anxiety, her version of a panic attack, whatever that is at 3. She wants her passy and she wants her cloth. Every single time, passy, cloth. I'm like, you don't need it. And truthfully, if it was up to me, I wouldn't give it to her. But that's a joint thing that Brittany and I have to figure out together, because I'm a little harder than she is. But you haven't graduated from that if you need an anxiety bag. It doesn't mean people don't go through stuff. Don't get me wrong. I'm not dismissing that. We've all had stress before. We've all had anxiety. People have panic attacks. I'm not saying those aren't real. I think I'm just offering better methods to cope with it. Most times in your life, you can go for a 5 or 10 minute walk wherever you're at to help you deal with it. The fresh air. I think it's much better than just sitting inside and popping pills or putting a cold press on you, whatever. Like, right? I'm not bringing something new to the table here. I think it's pretty much known. Every study will show you that. It's wild to me, man. I don't know. A lot of these people, again, David Goggins, bro, you're soft. You're soft. You said you're soft. You're soft. And like he says, and I could not agree more, when you put the time and effort and you go through difficult things in life, hence like he's talking about the training, whatever it is, it's always better on the other side. It's going to prepare you for when things are bad. If you challenge yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, all those things, it's going to prepare you for difficult things that then you're going to be able to cope and handle. Anyway, thanks for coming to my TED Talk, guys. The Andy Ruther Show does have a hotline, I believe. We still have one? We still got one up in here? 859-935-0078. Give a shout. Got some big things in the works I'll be able to reveal hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. We got another soccer game. 9 a.m. on Saturday. That'll be fun. I think Brittany should take her. I'll stay home and let Molly take a nap. That way I can maybe get a little nap in the morning. A little nap sesh. A little wake up at 6:30. Molly goes back down at 9:30. That'd be amazing. Get a little nap sesh. DMs are always open. You guys know that. The DMs are always open for me. Slide on in. Holla at your boy. Give me some parenting tips. I always need those. Please. Please. Tell me how to cope with a 3-year-old. Tell me how to cope with a 1-year-old, although she's getting a lot better. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Have a lovely weekend. Remember, just go for a walk, man. You get that anxiety, go for a walk. Grab the keys. Grab the keys. All right. Love you guys. Peace.